I want to talk about the colors red and blue today because red and blue, there are Freemasonry colors, man. And even with these heathens out here gang stalking you, and everybody does it, it's not the same, case by case basis. In my case, particularly, they like to use the colors red and blue. So I'm just gonna be pointing out a few logos and things of that nature to show you that this Freemasonry is rooted everywhere, man. You know. So yeah. So here we go. I mean, what better way to start out but with the American flag, man? You know, we know this country wasn't founded. It wasn't a Christian nation, man. It was founded on Freemasonry. That's how it was built. So there we go. You got the color scheme of red and blue. You got the police officers, man. Look at their lights on their cars, red and blue, man. We all know that a lot of these officers are Freemasons, and it's the same thing with the fire department too, man. They have, fire department and the EMTs, man. They're all connected into Freemasonry, man. And it's a reason why they have these colors, man. Red and blue. You have the color scheme of red and blue within these the Bloods and the Crips. And these guys thinking they're just joining some gang, but in reality, these gangs are rooted in Freemasonry, man, heavily. Like, and they're controlled by the government. When these elites want somebody dead, they send it down to these gangs pretty much, man. On a lower level, these are the lower level guys, and they pay them, chump change, which is nothing to them, the elites, they pay them chump change, and they go out and execute these, these hits on people, man. Not all these hits is gang related, Oh man, they wear the six. The Crips have the 6-pointed star. They're talking about that's Crip. No, man. That's the same star. That's on the flag of what you call it, the flag of Israel. And that's not the flag. David never had no star, man. These is occult symbolisms, man. So we're gonna keep going, man. We got NASA, color scheme red and blue once again. And for those of you that don't know, that's that little red thing right there in the middle, that fork, that's the serpent's tongue. We all know NASA in Hebrew, it means lies. And these guys, they put these things in front of our faces, but we just have to understand the symbolisms, man. And yeah, man, NASA it's all fake, man. We know they never been to the moon. The earth is flat, but they want to push the theory of evolution, because if that gets knocked down, that evolution theory, man, people gonna know that that there is a God. They pushing that evolution theory hard, man. But there go, just color scheme red and blue, man. Nothing but lies on NASA, man. The CIA. Look, man, these guys are the biggest terrorists out here, man. These guys are responsible for a lot of the wars that's being fought right now, because they go into other nations and destabilize them, for their benefit, man, for the benefit of America, man. That's what they do. If you don't want to get on board with what we got going on, and you're a totally different country, they want to take you down, and that's just selfish, man. And that's just like the story of Naboth, King Ahab, and Jezebel. Ahab wanted Naboth's vineyard. Naboth didn't want to give it to him, so he complained to Jezebel. Jezebel went and wrote a letter, to the people, and they pretty much witnessed against Naboth, saying that he blasphemed God, and that and then he got stoned to death for that, man. They made up a lie, on him, man. So they stoned Naboth, and then Ahab got his vineyard after he died. And this is the kind of stuff that the Freemasons do. You got something that they want, they're gonna do these things, man, to take it away from you, man. Very selfish, man. They're gonna do these things to take it away from you. But yet we look up to these guys like they're highly esteemed men. It's sad, man. You know, that's why they do. That's what with the whole gang stalking thing too, man. In order to be a Freemason, you gotta establish an enemy first, you know, and gang stalk them. You know, it's stupid, man. You got the Republican logo, red and blue, and then you got the Democrat logo, red and blue. I mean, it's all a bunch of lies too. You know, the only reason they have these elections is to see if the people still believe in the system, man. You know, the voting, that's an illusion, man. Your votes don't count. You know what I mean? But, you know, you still got people going out there, you know what I mean, still brainwashed, you know, because going out there to vote, you know what I mean? Your vote don't count. It's the money that counts, man. And plus, these guys already have an agenda set forth, you know. But they have to push the illusion of freedom, you know. What you think is going to happen if people don't go out there and vote? I mean, a revolution is about to take place, man. You know what I mean? So that means people don't believe in the system anymore. You know what I mean? So the only reason they have these elections is the real reason is to see if people still believe in the system. You know, that's it, man. They don't care about you guys, man. Yeah, it's for real. The Domino's logo, red and blue. NBA logo. The Chevron logo. MLB logo. Seeing the trend here, right? American Airlines. Quaker Oats. The Mobile logo, man. You know what I mean? It's right here in front of our faces, man. 24-hour fitness. The Pepsi logo, man. And here's the thing, man. You know, people gonna say, well, you know, you're gonna have those people that's gonna come out and say, well, not all their logos have the color scheme of red and blue. They don't. Not all of them do have it, but they have something in there that's symbolic. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't always have to be red and blue. They have something in there that's symbolic that's gonna show, you know, the other people that, hey, you know, I'm down with the agenda too. And, you know, like, and another thing too, you cannot be one of these major 500 Fortune companies and not be down with the agenda, man. They're not gonna let it happen, you know. You have to be down with the agenda. These Freemasons are not gonna let you thrive, you know, unless you are down with their agenda, you know. And their agenda is satanic, you know. You know what I mean? So, you know, all these guys that's making these billions of dollars, you know what I mean, and thriving in this society, you know, they have sold out to Satan, man. That's the only way to make it, man. On a higher level, billionaires, trillionaires. I mean, even these millionaires too. They have sold out, you know. You know, people don't want to believe it, you know, because the love of money, man. The love of money, you know, and fame. That's exactly what's happening, man. They're not gonna let you thrive, man. That's why they have these, you know, that's why they have this network as to where they hold each other up, you know. So if this person screws up, you know, they're all gonna jump in and lie for this one person, you know, and protect him. It don't matter what he does. It don't matter what he does. That's the rules. He could be a pedophile, you know, that likes to play with kids. They're going to protect him no matter what the cost. And that's why I think a lot of these guys is just lame and corny to me, man, because, you know, you guys don't want, you know, you guys can't be corrected on anything that you do. You know, they're going to defend you no matter what you do. You know, who wants to be a part of something like that, you know, in order to keep your joint afloat, you know. You know, so this is how these guys are able to stay on top, man. You know, they've used their secret societies and their networks, you know, to come out on top, you know. That's it. You know, they're not special, you know. And if you want to make it, you're going to have to join them. Like I said before. But that's it, man. All praises to, you know, Yahuwah, Elohim. You know, we thank his son, right? Yeshua HaMashiach, you know, for shedding this blood on the cross for us, man. I'm out.